I am super torn about this film. It's Sharna from Pay Your Weights, and today I am going to be reviewing Death Wish, directed by Eli Roth, and it stars Bruce Willis. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is a remake of the 1974 Death Wish that stars Charles Bronson and became like a big franchise. And so with this movie, kind of centered around Paul Kersey, played by Bruce Willis. Basically, he's this family man, he's a doctor, he got a nice wife, got a nice daughter, got a nice house, just got a nice life, okay? And then his life gets a little bit tragic after a break-in, and his wife is murdered and his daughter is still ill from everything that happened. That's just the real Cliff Notes version, so I don't give too much away. And so he's trying to wait on the police to deliver him justice, to find the person who murdered his wife, who broke into his house. And basically he keeps waiting and waiting and waiting, and nothing seems to be happening. And so he decides to take the law into his own hands. And he starts out as this vigilante who just starts helping random people who are subject to violence. And then he kind of goes to look for who the hell murdered his wife. Okay, so for the things that I did like about the film, you know what? I felt like Bruce Willis was having fun with this role. I like Bruce Willis as an actor. I like him especially in the action movies. And I love the cheesy lines that he was saying before he would kill people. It would be so cheesy and so corny. That's probably why I liked it so much, because my other friends, they were like, no, that was stupid. And I was like, but it wasn't. I appreciated it, okay? And so I think that the movie does have like good violence, definitely has good gore, a lot of gore. So don't worry, you're gonna see some gore, okay? Because it was pretty entertaining. But that's pretty much all I'm gonna say that I love about the film. You know what? I got one more thing. I'm gonna give you one more thing, okay? I did love how in the beginning of the film, they kind of tied in the violence of Chicago, because this is where the film takes place. I like how they tied in the violence of Chicago. They kind of show like real live radio hosts and them talking about, you know, so many people were shot this weekend, and, you know, what are police doing to help fix this problem. And so I think they did a good job of tying that in to try to make you kind of feel even more about what happens to Paul and why he decides to do what he does, to kind of have you conflicted on whether or not vigilante justice is okay when it feels like the police keep failing you. So that's about it. That's all I'm gonna say that's nice, okay? So let's get into what I didn't like about the film. The first beginning part of the film, I just felt like this is dragging on way too long. I didn't need this long of a setup to get us invested into your family and invested into your life and everything that's going on. I felt like they could have cut a lot of that out and really just could have like cut right to the chase of what happens to his wife and then what leads him down this vigilante path. So I was kind of bored in the beginning of the movie. And then when he shoots his first person, and I'm like, okay, now I'm entertained again. But it was rumored that this movie was supposed to come out in November of last year. And so after the Vegas shooting happened, they actually decided to push the movie back, which I definitely understand, because there's a lot of violence in the film. So, you know, I can see it triggering a lot of people. But there's a line that they mentioned in the film about an AR-15. And I was like, I immediately thought of the shooting. I was like, should they have still said that? Like, it's a little insensitive. But I was like, if you made the mental note to move it back because of the Vegas tragedy, then I felt like you should have took that damn line out when you saw the shooting that happened last month. Like, is that just me? Am I being too much? But then when I talked to some of the people I saw the movie with, they like kind of felt the same way. So I don't know if it's something that they pick up. I'm not trying to start this whole campaign. I'm just telling you how I felt about that line. It was still a bit much for me. So also, too, I felt like Death Wish had an amazing cast, okay? And it was so amazing that I felt like their talent was wasted in this film. You had Vincent D'Onofrio. You had Kimberly Elise. You had Dean Norris, okay? You had some good actors. Then we also had somebody else who I'm not going to spoil because I don't know if he's in the trailer or not. But I was like, why are you here? Your character is just so random and you're basically just an extra in this movie. But when you see the person, you'll know exactly who I'm talking about, but I'm not going to spoil it for you. I just felt like the acting wasn't bad given what the movie was, but I just felt like, why get all of these great actors to play these roles that really anybody could have played and it wouldn't have mattered? Like, I don't feel like they needed any of these people for appeal to go see the movie, because I feel like Bruce Willis did that enough. So I was just like, all this wasted talent for no reason. I don't understand. I just don't get it. And so that's why I'm conflicted about this movie. And it's like, the movie was decent. You know, for what it was decent. I don't know if I was really expecting to go watch this like great movie, or like if I could compare it to it like an Equalizer kind of type of movie. I didn't enjoy it as much, but like when at the end of the movie, when I was asking, so I have a movie group in Atlanta, it has like a couple thousand people in it. It's usually about 30 of us who go to the screenings, depending on who can get enough tickets to get in. And so at the end, I'm like, hey guys, what did you think of the movie? They're like, oh my gosh, we loved it. And they're like, what did you think? And I was like, And they're like, Sharada, you're too harsh on movies. And I was like, okay, so like, what would you rate it? And they're like, oh, we'll give it an 8.5 out of 10. I was like, 8.5 out of 10, that's pretty generous. And then I was like, okay, so y'all will pay to go see it. And they're like, pay? And I'm like, yeah, my site's called Pay or Wait. Like, should you pay to go see the movie or wait to see another movie? And they were like, I mean, I'll do $5 Tuesdays or go to the dollar theater. And I was like, guys, you cannot say, you can't give a movie 8.5 out of 10 and then be like, I wouldn't pay for it. So like when I do these reviews, like I have to keep in mind that I'm telling people to spend their money on this like movie. And for this one, I just can't do that. Because I didn't pay for the movie, it was an enjoyable movie. It would be a red box movie for me, or like when a movie comes on TV, I would sit and watch it and have a good time watching the movie. But I cannot tell you to pay to go see this movie. I just don't feel like the movie was good enough to do that. And I'm sorry. I feel like some people will enjoy it if they like the gore, the violence. Like, I think they will like it. But overall, I wasn't in love with it. I felt more conflicted than I was in love with the movie. And I'm going to have to say, wait. And I'm sorry if that offends people. I'm sorry that offends you guys in my movie group. I'm sorry, but I got to keep it real. Wait, okay? So my name is Sharada from Pay or Wait, and if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and I will see you soon.